Hello, my name is Lian. A little info about myself is I'm stupid, I'm retarded. I don't really have that much footage on the beginning of the actual development process. I used Unity paired with top-down engine so I can finish the game much more efficiently. That's a lie. So I made this cute model of an orange juice as the protagonist, and well, you can change characters and stuff. But yeah, let's not talk about that. I also made a boss immediately. I don't know why, but it just happens. I use state machines to simulate states of the enemy. We have here patrolling, attacking, detecting, all sorts of things. I also reused the gun sprite I made for the other game that is now in my recycle bin. It's a top-down shooter, roguelike-esque. It is inspired in Enter the Gungeon, but with one brain-dead developer, cheaper budget, lazy sprites, spaghetti code, and a longer-ass development time. Kinda like Soul Knight, but filled with methamphetamine and cocaine. Nothing like it. The next important feature I want in my game is but I can't probably say that. Boom! Now you can reluctantly shoot yourself over and over again. That's another back-of-the-box feature. Finally, what is a roguelike game without a procedural generated stage? What is a procedural generated stage? Well, it's a stage that is generated procedurally. I'm having a stroke! Procedurally. Oh my god. It's a method of creating data using an algorithm as opposed to manually. It typically uses It typically uses a combination of human-generated assets and algorithms coupled with computer-generated randomness and processing power. In short, it will generate a random stage every time you play. So it will be a different experience every time. That's a lie. Every game uses that as a selling point nowadays. It's a lie. It's the same game every time. I don't care. I will make a system similar to Enter the Gungeon, in which every stage is a random generated stage, but every room is handmade, or it is handmade. What? So you just stitch them together to generate, well, a random stage. Soul Knight is just boxes. Let's not lie to each other. That's boring. So, hi, it's been 4 days. I have severe depression. It works now. It generates a stage with a couple of rooms. Well, there's currently only one room by now, but in a couple of days, there will be a lot more variety, or until I lost track of the feature I want to implement again. In later parts of the development, I did make them much wider and longer, similar to my... And then after that, I started making the enemies, or get lazy and only create 2 of them. They're rice team because I'm Asian, ching chong, and the boss is a rice cooker, so... we connect them after. I have this storyboard idea, okay? The juices were the middle class, and then there's this dictator who killed like 6 million. So anyway, I also worked at the reload animations because, we're not Soul Knight here. Totally works. Yep. And then after that, I immediately jumped on to implementing the enemy wave spawns. So, when you are inside the rooms, it spawns. Wow. And it works well even with multiplayer. So, that's kind of, I'm not bragging or anything, but it kind of works pretty well. I also animated the spawn animation for the enemies, so you know where they will spawn. That looks sick. After that, I made a new character. This one though has a gun. Nice. It works like this. If the enemy can't find the target, roam around the map to look for the player. If it did see the target, take aim and shoot that. If the target is lost, re-put the last seen location of the player as a target, and the enemy can start the search there. So the enemy can now aim, shoot, and at the same time look for the player. Now I just need to refine a couple of things for the marksman enemy. Bada bing, bada bang, it's having a stroke. Just like that, it now aims and shoots like a stormtrooper. I know, original joke. Why are you still watching? I also made it so that it retreats whenever the code detects if the enemy is in the shooting state for a long time. I think it actually works because it clicks the player to, Whoa, it works. Well, it is. Then I made the enemies, guns, particles look bigger so that it will be easier to dodge, and you can tell that, you can avoid it. Oh yeah, I forgot. I removed the sprint button and made it so that dragging your joystick to the edge of the movement automatically makes you sprint. I know. I'm so sad. Then I also made it so that your dash makes you invulnerable to hits. You can't be hit when you are dashing. Definitely didn't steal that from the dodge roll mechanic from Gungeon. Here is a gameplay of the wave system in action here. What I hate about this is how the enemies clump up together and you can see their patterns for the attacks. To fix that, I added a big collider for them so they don't go, way too close gaily together. I also hate how your gun doesn't flip whenever you are aiming the gun at your back. I fixed that, or at least most of it. You're looking at Soul Knight here. How the hell do you do that? How do you do that? I detect which angle the player is looking at, and then I wrote those values down so I know when the player is actually looking at the 8 different directions. And then I feed that to this thing which continually checks if the player's rotation is in the values that are required. If that is satisfied, then flip the sprite. I know it looks like a retard wrote this down. It gets cleaner later on, but yeah, it is actually written by a retard. So I refined the reload animation more, and boom, look at that. It looks smooth. Check that out. Shit. And for the last feature I want to implement is a throw gun mechanic similar to stick fight. I want that to be a part of my game where you throw your gun and it comes back to you when you equip it, and you shoot again. Oh my god, that looks cool. I'm so hot. But I tried to implement it, and I edited this code right here, which discards your weapon and spawns an item picker for that weapon. The idea is when it gets spawned, the rigid body attached to that will get an add force function. Adds force to the object. So when you drop it, it adds force to that and adds a torque, so it spins and it looks like you're throwing the gun, basically. Yeah. Oh. Whoa, what the hell is it doing? Why is it doing that? It's getting there nicely, and I just need to, make it so that it hurts the enemies and it stops floating after, throwing it, or stop it from flying across the void or something. I also want to fix it so that you can aim with the auto aim feature as well. But yeah, I guess that's all I have for you today. I'll enjoy my